Yo, and we're back on WVCW. This is a Students of Hip Hop radio exclusive. We chilling with my man Raekwon, the chef, in this joint today.
You already know. What's good?
We're talking about his new upcoming album, Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2. And we're also just talking about all things Wu and all things Raekwon. So, what else I was going to ask you is about just the Ghostface album, Fish Scale. I noticed it came out like in 2006, and that was like one of the first times in a while that you and Ghostface just came together on kind of like a collaborative tip, because y'all used to do it like all the time on Iron Man, and y'all did it for Only Built for Cuban Links. How was that working on Fish Scale? And like a lot of people think that's a modern day classic now. How was it to be a part of that album?
I mean, that's my brother, man. When I see him, I see, me, and it's been a while since we've been working because we've both been going in different directions, doing what we got to do to, feed our families. He's over there at Def Jam, I'm over here, I was on Universal and I moved my situation. So we kind of like, both went different directions in our path, but only to really keep it moving, you know what I mean? Because remember, we told y'all back in '93, like, yo, we'll form Voltron, and then eventually cats will go do what they got to do to be the best at what they could be. Mm-hmm. So when it was time to come back in the studio and put that work in, we already know the protocol. You know what I mean? It's just certain buttons that got to get pressed for the right reasons, and he needed me for his record, and you know what I mean? It just took that reach out that, yo, I need you on this one right here. You know what I mean? The fans are starting to think we not really tag team the way we used to. So we just jumped up there and did what we had to do, And, right after that, we knew Cuban Links was coming. So we really had a lot of mending things up to do, you know what I mean? So that's what we did. But one thing about us, and I always tell the fans, is that regardless how much everybody wants to see Ray and Ghost really get it in, we gonna do it for y'all, but at the same time, we individuals as well.
Yeah,
so
y'all have different styles.
We try to give y'all different synopsis of music. It's better to have more than something than just have just this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We want to make sure at the end of the day, yo, y'all got that opportunity to hear him for Dolo, hear Ray for Dolo, then come back and hear both of us together, other than just hearing us always together.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Want to give y'all more opportunities to, catch on the other songs and, what I mean, make it more interesting,
Yeah. And another thing I noticed about the new album is that like you picked the same photographer from the original joint. Yeah. How was it working with him again? And how did you feel that it was important just to get just the old school essence from the first album?
I mean, being that the photographer was our dude back then. If we gonna go down memory lane, why not go all the way down it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We wanted to really let the fans know how much we really care about y'all feeling about what y'all felt about the first one. You know what I mean? So that was my dude. I called him, and he was excited, and I was excited to get back in there with him because we made the cover. We made the cover a certain kind of way then, and we wanted to make it the same way again, you know what I mean, but with a twist. So it was perfect for him to be involved with, and he just came and did his thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word up.
How are you feeling your situation with just Capital right now?
Everything is cool, you know what I mean, and it's EMI,
Yeah, it's EMI, okay.
Yeah, it's EMI,
cool.
And, they definitely been mad supportive of a fella,
Yeah.
Really, really, really being there. I can't say nothing bad, you know what I mean? Yeah. And, we just here to, do good business with one another, and hopefully if this project is a success, we'll do it again with them. And, my thing is to come at the situation as a business partner as well, even more, because it ain't like having a regular rap artist deal, you know what I mean? Like, they gave me a big opportunity to be more successful.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, when you pave the way we did and been in the game for so long, it's only right you take your expertise to a higher level, and they look at you a little bit bigger now. So I've been through my being on the floor, you know what I mean, sleeping on the floor. Now we do it big now, so
major
they
now.
respect that. We major now, exactly.
No
You
doubt.
already know. You
No
already
doubt.
know.
No doubt. And what's next for just Ice Water? Ice Water.
You know, just basically more multitasking in our little endeavors, you know. Just really getting it in. You're gonna hear some more music. I'll probably drop another album in the next 4 or 5 months, you know, because we've been away for so long, you know. So you're gonna hear definitely more albums. I'm starting to get into the film world, so hopefully, you know, you'll see me on the big screen doing it big, either on the director's level or on the actor's level. Like, you know, everybody knows Ray is a visionary, a narrator, so you're gonna see me really, really explore my horizons this time, even more.
Alright, that's what's up.
Wow.
But before, cause I think I'll be doing the faster section with you talking about that. But before that, one question we had, cause I didn't see the whole track listing, but I heard Nas wasn't on the album, like he was the
Yeah.
original one.
Yeah.
So we wanted to know why was that though?
I mean, you know, it was the timing, I guess. You know, I was upset a little bit, but I had to understand. You know, he going through what he going through in his own life, and I respect a man having to, you know, pay attention to what's really important, which is his life and his family. But you know, I thought he would have been there, but the timing wasn't there. You know, like I said, everybody's moving around. This recession time got everybody working 10 times hard. You know, so. That's what it is, you know what I mean? He missed this one, but hey, we get him, we catch him one day. And it's really his loss, if you ask me, you know, because, you know, the fans, I always told them from the door, like, you know, as much as you my friend, you know, it's really more about the fans. It ain't really so much for me, because we already did whatever we did. We did songs together, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. It's no love lost when it comes to that. But when it comes to the fans, you know, I think that he's going to take a shot behind that now. Because they're going to be looking for him to be up there. You know what I mean? And I told him that, like, yo, homie, they want you, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's love. Like I said, that's my dude, man, and I wish him the best, you know what I mean? Do what you got to do, man.